Yo, what is going on, everybody? Coach Williams here, and I want to personally welcome you to my pod class, where I will transform your life by changing the way that you think. Listen, do me a favor. I need you to like it, and don't be one of these watchers that hear me tell you to like it and still don't like it. If this benefits you, you can wait to the end of the video to like it. Throughout the video, comment with me because me and my team will go through every comment and we'll comment back. Eventually, for your engagement, we're going to start giving out merch. So chop it up with me because I promise you we'll have a conversation in the comment section. I will comment back. And please, if this video blesses you, share it with someone. Just share it. Coach, how do I share it? Send the link in a text message thread. Send the link in an Instagram inbox. Hey, such and such, I highly suggest that you listen to this podcast. It blessed my life in this way. I bet money they listen to it. Mm-hmm. Got to check for this light. Make sure this light's still on. Listen, if you want to sponsor this podcast, please let me know. I need a sound guy. I need a light guy. I need a everything person. So if you're listening and you want to sponsor, become a sponsor, hit me up. Go to my website, coachwilliamsu.com, and it'll tell you how to get in contact with me. Okay? Cool. By liking it, sharing it, and commenting on it, you help me to reach my goal, and that is to become a full-time social media influencer. So do me a favor, like it, share it, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Listen, let's go ahead and get started with what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about trauma and how it affects you. We're going to talk about trauma, what it is, and how to put ice on it. I remember when I was playing baseball, I was the fastest person on my team. I was up the bat, and we were playing the Astros, I think it was. I was up the bat. I hit the ball down the first baseline. I was the fastest person on the field. So I was running. It was a slow dribbler. As the first baseman was picking the ball up, I fell over and I collapsed. And I immediately grabbed my knee. I was like, man, what's going on? At first, I thought I was tripping because I was eventually going to be out at first base. But I was like, oh no, something is really wrong with my knee right now. I couldn't even stand up. So my coach, he picked me up, carried me to my mama's car, and he put me in a white Intrepid. My mama drove a white Intrepid. He put me in the back seat of her car. She took me to the emergency room, and the doctor told me that I had to put ice on my knee. By putting ice on my knee, it would heal it. So essentially, ice healed my knee because it was just swollen due to tendonitis. So ice helped it not be swollen, right? How many of y'all have ever gotten hurt and the first thing that they did was put some ice on it? You see, I believe that a lot of y'all are hurting in life, and all you have to do is put ice on it. But you got to really realize that you're actually hurting. And in today's podcast, I am going to teach you about what a trauma is. Uh, I'm gonna teach you about what a trauma is and how to put ice on it. Because a lot of y'all are hurting because of trauma, and you don't even know how to deal with it. You don't even know how to move forward. Make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you have a notepad out. Make sure you take notes and study what you take. Okay? Rewatch this video if you need to. So, what is a trauma? A trauma is something that has hurt you and has caused a long time negative effect. Let me repeat that. A trauma is something that has hurt you and caused a lasting negative impact on your life. What are some examples of traumas, do you think? Drop them in the comment section. What's some examples of trauma? Oh yeah, I got my baby Chandra over here. So she may be, you may hear in the background. May not. What are some examples of trauma? Throw them in the chat. Bullying, growing up without a father, being a victim of sexual abuse, losing a loved one. Come on, drop some. I got one for you. Breakups. Has anybody ever told you you tripping because you and your boyfriend or girlfriend broke up, but it really did something to you because you put your all into that relationship and that person really did you wrong and they hurt you bad? And then people tell you just get over it because it's just puppy love or y'all didn't really love each other in the first place. Nobody ever teaches you how to move through that breakup. That's traumatic, fam. Have you ever lost somebody and not known how to grieve about it? Losing somebody is traumatic. Or maybe you've been a victim of bullying. That is traumatic. Whatever you've gone through in your life, whatever has hurt you, through this next series of videos, I am going to teach you how to put ice on it. And listen, putting ice on it is not easy. Do you hear me? I hated putting ice on my knee. I absolutely hated it. I hate cold stuff. I hate cold stuff with a passion. Putting cold stuff on me makes me experience more emotions that I don't want to experience. Putting ice on your trauma is going to make you experience sadness. You're going to be mad if somebody hurt you and caused damage to you. You're going to be mad about it, fam. That is normal. Putting ice on it is going to solicit other emotions that you didn't even know you had. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to teach you how to navigate that. I want to teach you through my experiences. Because I this is not theory that I've gotten from a book. This is based off of what has happened to me, but you got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned and follow the story because I am going to walk you through how to put ice on your trauma. You see, that doctor told me, hey, put some ice on that knee. He said putting ice on your hurt knee will heal your knee. I'm here today to tell you that if you put ice on your hurting life, it will heal you. There has to be a point to where you journey from hurting to healing. And the first stop is by putting ice on your trauma. So let me tell you how to do it. All right. ICE for me is an acronym. Okay. The I stands for identify your trauma. Some of you guys are out here fighting a victim that you don't, y'all are fighting an opponent that you don't even know exists. You out here wondering why you always angry. You out here wondering why you always depressed. And then you put that back on you. You think it's something wrong with you, but it ain't nothing wrong with you. Replay that. I'm going to say it again. There is nothing wrong with you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a child of God. There's nothing wrong with you. You think you're the opponent when really your trauma is. When you identify that trauma, when you figure out what it is that hurt you, then you can come up with a game plan. As a coach, I always watch film. I always watch film on my opponent so I can know their tendencies. By identifying your trauma, you're able to research it. You're able to watch YouTube videos on it. You're able to go to the fight knowing what to do because you know who you fighting. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That's a bar. So you got to identify what's hurt you. That's going to be my next video. I bet you're wondering, oh, how can I identify what has hurt me? Don't worry. That's going to be my next video. So the I stands for identify your trauma. The C stands for communicate it to a trusted individual. Somebody who you trust. Who you trust. You got to have a friend. You got to have a parent. You got to have a teacher. There has to be somebody you can talk to about what has hurt you because you think you don't got to talk about it to nobody. Y'all, I kept my trauma a I kept my trauma a secret for 20 years. I kept my trauma a secret for 20 years, more than 20 years. I didn't tell anybody. Number one, I didn't tell anybody because I was trying to protect the other person in the story. And number two, I didn't tell anybody because I was scared people would think differently of me by speaking my trauma. So I didn't communicate it with nobody. I buried it. I figured I could be okay, but really, not communicating my trauma, it caused me to walk in every room and think that everybody was always talking about me. It caused me to not really believe in who I am as a person. Y'all, going to therapy has changed my life. Talking to my wife about what has hurt me changed my life. Vulnerability and transparency changed my life. I know y'all out there thinking right now that your parents won't understand what it is that you done been through. Oh, she ain't gonna understand. He ain't gonna understand. Do not look this word up. Do not fragilize your parents. Fragilize means that you make them you think that they're going to be offended or you think that they can't handle what it is that you have to tell them. You think that they won't understand what it is that you tell them. Don't rob your parents of the ability to help you heal because you do not think they'll understand. I would go out on a limb and say the thing that has hurt you has probably hurt your parents too. Yeah. But you sitting here keeping secrets and fragilizing them like they can't, they're like they can't take handle what it is that you got to tell them. You out here thinking that therapy is for white people, or you out here thinking that therapy is fake, right? Y'all, can I keep it real or no? You think that it's gonna be a old white person or old black lady who is miserable and boring. That ain't nothing at all what therapy is like. You got to stop watching so many movies and getting your ideologies from movies. I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. You got to communicate your trauma with a trusted individual. And last but not least, the E stands for embrace yourself for who you really are. The thing about trauma is trauma has a funny way of distorting your image. Trauma has a funny way of changing the way that you see things. You don't see things right. I gotta wear glasses. Trauma causes things to be blurry. Putting ice on your trauma allows you to see things clearly. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And a lot of you guys think that you ain't worth anything because you see yourself through the lens of your trauma. And so you're not really able to embrace who you really are because you see yourself through your trauma. You see the world through your trauma. You think that you're never going to be anything because of your trauma. You make all C's because of your trauma. You think that you can't pass your classes because of your trauma, but you don't even know it's your trauma. And so you can't even look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are beautiful. You can't even look yourself in the mirror and say, I am handsome. I am a world changer. And believe it, you can't even do that because you're looking at yourself through the lens of your trauma. Once you identify your trauma, confess it to a trusted individual, then you have to embrace who God created you to be. Then you will find purpose. Then you will realize who it is that you are. But you got to actually put some ice on it, fam. You got to actually go through the process. Drop process in the chat, fam. Drop process. Come on, don't leave me hanging. Process, process, process. It's a process. Stop trying to get to the product so fast that you miss what God is doing in you in the process. And the process of healing requires you to put ice on what's hurting you. You got to identify it, you got to communicate it, and you got to embrace you for who God created you to be. Listen, that's my time. I'm super excited for this pod class. Y'all, I'm going to get raw, I'm going to get uncut. We're going to talk about real life situations. We're gonna go deeper into trauma. But right now, I need you guys to like it, comment on it, share it, and subscribe it so you can help me reach my goal to be a full-time social media influencer. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Get ready for the next episode. We're gonna talk about how to identify your trauma. Y'all, peace. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.